This episode...
How Finland ended homelessness? Oh, God, this is going to fucking hurt my feelings. If Dems are ever going to have a chance of winning, they need to become like Republicans. There's no other way around it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, by the way, my inspiration was John William Waterhouse. I just remembered for the painting that I did. I wonder if this is literally also John William Waterhouse, the satire case. I used to love, I guess, like, his, I used to love the John William Waterhouse style. Pre-Raphaelite? Is that what it is? I don't even fucking know. It's just like hyper-realistic, though. Hyper-realistic oil paintings. You made a fanfic painting? Ha 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 ha. Dude, I was 16. You gonna fucking make fun of me? What's wrong with you? The fuck?
Do you like Rossetti?
The fuck is wrong with you, dude? Yeah. Let's see what Finland did.
It is brought to you by CuriosityStream. Get free access to Nebula, the streaming platform built by all your favorite YouTubers, when you sign up for CuriosityStream at the link below.
They probably converted ADUs into rentable studio apartments, probably. That's how they probably did it.
About 600,000 people experience homelessness in the US. Think about your own life. You might not be homeless, or necessarily even know someone who is or has been. But you certainly know someone paying to...
This is absolutely false and misleading. I'm from Finland and there's still homeless people. It's unbelievable people lie like this. Bro. In Finland, in the year 2020, there were 4,000 people that were homeless living alone. Okay? And out of those, only 1,000 people were long-term homeless. Like, do you want me to go back to the number, dude? That's still quite a bit. I mean, Finland is tiny.
One year pog.
I'm going to start referring to my uterus as an apartment so the Supreme Court will recognize my right to evict any unwanted tenants. Like 1,000 homeless people. Long-term homeless people is like literally fucking insane to comprehend. Like that's. And by the way, that has temporary living with friends and relatives in there as well, I think. Yeah, dude, look at this. Look at this fucking report, dude.
As silly.
By 2019, look at this report. They had 18,000 or near 18,000 like total homeless families, not specified, temporary living with friends and relatives in institutions and outside in temporary shelters and hostels. That number has been reduced to 4,000. Per 10,000 people in Finland, 8.8 are homeless. It's 42.6 for America.
Ryu champ less than 3.
So excuse me if you're fucking Finnish and you come in here and you're like, actually, there are 1,000 people that are currently homeless in Finland. We did not fully eradicate it. It's like, dude, there's 1,000 homeless people in like 4 city blocks in Los Angeles. The fuck are you talking about? Jesus Christ, dude.
Too much for rent, someone having trouble finding a place to live, someone facing eviction. In other words, someone who could become homeless without much needing to go wrong. More and more Americans are joining this category every day. The truth is that in 95%—
I love this guy. He goes, Second Thought just did a video on this. People pog. No way, dude. Did Second Thought just do a video on that? I'm literally watching it.
of U.S. counties, those who work a full-time minimum wage job cannot afford even a 1-bedroom apartment. Change that to a 2-bedroom and the entire country becomes unaffordable. This situation is only getting worse. As a result of the pandemic, rising
I'm kidding, Chattered. I'm just making a joke.
housing costs, wage stagnation, and the inadequate policies of our local and federal governments, the number of people experiencing homelessness and of people on the brink has been steadily growing for the past decade. That is, if you only look at the US. In this episode, we're looking at Finland's approach to homelessness, what Housing First is.
The title is Misleading is What I Mean. Bro. Dude, if they were able to fucking wither away the homelessness population or people in non-permanent shelter population from 18,000 to fucking like 4,000, that's not misleading. They've like tackled a if the similar percentages existed in America with respect to like 600,000 that went all the way down to fucking 300,000 or even less than that. Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine 1/4, dude? Like, reduce to 1/4 of the fucking number. Wait, what is this? Homelessness in Germany. Germany's homelessness population increased out of 678 people that were classified as homeless in Germany. Wait, what? In 2018, approximately 441,000 were refugees according to the... Oh. What the fuck is this, dude? According to the... I'm not going to read that shit. What are you, crazy? He wants the title to be How Finland Kind of But Not Really Solved Homelessness But Is Not Comparable to the U.S. at All. Yeah, he should have said how Finland tackled the homelessness crises in his country in one of the more successful ways possible.
And what it could mean.
But also, like, you know, there's still homeless people that exist. A lot of the homeless people that exist in this situation like that, by the way, institutionalized people are still considered homeless in
for
Finland.
The American economy. In Finland, only about 5,000 people, 0.1% of the population, are homeless. And that's even with the broadest definition of what constitutes homelessness, which includes more than who you typically think of when you hear the term. The Finnish definition of homelessness goes beyond just those who are living on the street or in emergency accommodations like shelters. In some cities, like the country's capital Helsinki, no one sleeps on the street. That type of homelessness has been completely eliminated. Compare that to the US's nearly 600,000 homeless people, which is almost exclusively so-called rough sleepers, those who live on the street, and the problem starts to become apparent. What's more important, though, is that homelessness isn't just low in Finland, it's actively going down. Between 2010 and 2018, Finland enjoyed a massive 40% decline in the homelessness rate. If it sounds like we're cherry-picking data, even during the pandemic, which, let me remind you, has caused a massive surge of homelessness in the US, homelessness in Finland did not increase. So what happened? How is Finland so effective?
Wait, hold on. I want to run that back. I want to run those numbers back, dude.
Exclusively so-called...
Wait, oh, dude, I can't believe they're lying in the title, bro.
Rough sleepers, those who live on the street, and the problem starts to become apparent. What's more important, though, is that homelessness isn't just low in Finland, it's actively going down. Between 2010 and 2018, Finland enjoyed a massive 40% decline in the homelessness rate. If it sounds like we're cherry-picking data, even during the pandemic, which, let me remind you, has caused a massive surge of homelessness in the US, homelessness in Finland did not increase. So, what happened? How is Finland so effectively reducing homelessness? In 2007, the Finnish government started a national Housing First program. Housing First is a philosophy that argues that to make progress on homelessness, particularly chronic homelessness, you need more than temporary emergency solutions.
What? You mean to tell me it's not murder? Nope, fuck that, brother. I'm American, goddammit. The only way I know how to fix a problem is by shooting at it.
You need permanent housing right out the gate. In other words, housing is the starting point, not...
Oh yeah, the parts that... I know, I already mentioned the different parts discussing different definitions of homelessness. Finland includes way more than the U.S. definition of sleeping on a bench or in a shelter. I know. I literally mentioned that when I showed you this. When I said that the definition of homeless in Finland is expansive. That would not even be covered. That would make that number of 600,000 in the United States much larger. I literally said that, and then the video said it too.
Not the end point. The way Housing First programs work is pretty simple. People experiencing homelessness receive independent housing immediately, without having to first fulfill mental health, sobriety, income, employment, or other requirements.
Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense, dude. That's how you should run the system, though. You should, like, literally take someone who's addicted to heroin, okay, and then make them quit cold turkey. And that's the only condition that they will ever have if they want to fucking be inside of shelter. That's the only way to do this thing. I don't understand what he's talking about here. What?
Once they're housed, support services are offered, not imposed, and over time, the newly housed begin to finance part of the cost of their housing to the degree that they can afford it. It sounds pretty intuitive, but this is very...
Long-term homelessness in Finland is still more expansive as far as like the way that someone covers someone to be long-term homeless. In America, that number is 100 times higher. Just remember that. Chronic homelessness is used to describe people who have experienced homelessness for at least a year or repeatedly while struggling with a disabling condition such as serious mental illness, substance use disorder, or a physical disability. So that number is 1,000 in Finland. That number is 100,000 in the United States. 100 times more, dude. Wait. Dude, someone in the chat said... Wait, where is it? Someone in the chat said the United States is 100 times larger than Finland. Fucking own, dude. The United States has 550 million people living in it, so that's why this number makes sense. No, by the way, that's not true. The United States is not 100 times bigger than Finland. Finland's population overall is 5.5 million. Okay? It is almost 100 times bigger. Are you guys fucking stupid? What is happening, dude? Yes, New York City has a larger population than Finland. I know. The United States is like 60 times the population of Finland, but 100 times the homeless population. Chronic homeless. That's the point. Here, let's look at homelessness per capita, okay? Jesus Christ, dude. Homelessness does not exist in Liechtenstein. A homeless shelter which existed previously was closed down due to lack of use. Okay, Syria, Somalia, Nigeria, Central African Republic, all that. Okay, let's get down to areas that we haven't fucked up. Russia, 346 per 10,000 people. The UK is 57.2. Where's the United States? Damn. United States' homelessness population is 17.7 per 10,000. Now, part of the reason why the United States' homelessness per 10,000 people number is smaller is because there's a lot of fucking areas to occupy. Also, the definition of homelessness is different for every single country. This is like the Sweden rape statistics conversation all over again. Finland is 5.5 million. USA is almost 400 million. That's not true. The United States is not 400 million almost. Okay, go down the list. Turkey fucking crushing the United States homelessness population. Not a big deal. 8.5. Actually destroying Finland as well. Look at that. Yeah, this is why I don't believe in these numbers. I'm sorry. Turkey's homelessness population is not... like Turkey's homelessness problem is significantly higher than Finland's homelessness problem. Okay? And same with fucking... like, this list claims that Germany has a worse problem with homelessness than the United States does. Well, also because they add 441,000 asylum seekers and refugees in temporary accommodation to the conversation. Where's Brazil? Like, I'm sorry, as someone who grew up in fucking Turkey, no, I don't believe that, like, Turkey has dealt with homelessness better than fucking Finland has. Brazil. Brazil only has 10. Per 10,000? Maybe I should go to Brazil, dude.
Hassle.
Yeah, I don't believe this at all, dude. This shit is fucking... These are so distorted. Are you kidding me? Gecekondu salak homeless yok bizde çünkü gecekonduya izin veriliyor. You know what? You might be right about that. In Turkey, there's a concept called... what do you call it? What's gecekondu in English? Bro, I live in Brazil. There are 15 homeless on the block I live. What the fuck? Yeah, well, your block must be more than 10,000 people. That's just how it works. What? What's wrong with this guy, bro? Finland is 5 million. USA is almost 400 million. Dude, why are you making that up? Finland is 5.5 million. The United States is 330 million. Why are you increasing the United States' population and decreasing Finland's population? Like, it just makes you seem disingenuous. I don't know why you're like making this argument and like, what the fuck? U.S. is 23 times bigger than Finland. Even if you expanded the homelessness rate of Finland to match the size of the U.S., it would still be roughly 116,000 people. What? Oh my God. Oh my God. This guy's been following me since July 2019. He's like, maybe he actually didn't know. She might have lied. She could have looked 18. But to be honest, I don't think a 14-year-old and 18-year-old girl communicates the same. So he's probably socially slow. Okay. are you, like is this guy like a fucking Finnish libertarian? Like, what the fuck is this? Talk to them and they claim they're not what they were before. If they say homophobic things again, feel free to ban strike to explain to them while saying things like Chinese people eat dogs, the harmful stereotype. Gave them an article they seem to understand. They also said they agree with Hasan's views, etc. Feel free to keep them banned after strike 3. He's whatever he needs to be to troll. No, I think this is like one of these guys. Wait, what? Sup like cats? How is that bait? You're delusional. It's a genuine question when you're saying it was before objective and I want a subjective answer. Be honest, would you? Oh, he's one of those like prison guys. What should we do, Chaz? Should we fucking Wait, did he just fucking delete his account? Oh my god, he changed his name. I don't even know if I can ban him now. What the fuck? God damn it.
Very different from the more common continuum of care or staircase approach we're mostly using. In continuum of care programs, homeless people are expected to make progress on any mental health or addiction issues they may have, and to pass a certain standard before being housed. In this system, housing is at the top of the staircase. These individual changes that these programs require are the sorts of things that are incredibly difficult to address when you are still contending with the anxiety of not having a home, possibly still sleeping on the street. In these continuum of care programs, only once you have demonstrated some change, which we should keep in mind is incredibly difficult to achieve without housing stability, do these programs graduate you into housing arrangements. First shared housing, and slowly over time independent housing. To some, continuum of care approaches sound great. That is, in theory. They map onto our society's values of meritocracy, of security. Only those who are deserving get access to the prize of having a home. Under this mentality, if you don't have a home, it must be because you're just not good enough yet. Come back later. It should be obvious that these programs just don't work. Not only do they strip people of their agency and come with an enormous moral burden, but recidivism is high and a huge number of people don't make it into the program in the first place because of the high barrier to entry. Compare that to Housing First. In the initial study on Housing First, back in 2003, a randomized trial of the two approaches decidedly shows the strength of the new program. Around half of the initially homeless group were accepted into permanent housing, regardless of their eligibility according to other programs.
Your take on homelessness is the most useless considering you're a privileged socialist with a $3 million home law? Favorite. White Bruno waiting room. Leftist Pepega clap. Leftist Pepega clap. Guess he's going to jail tonight. I'm not going to take the bait. Let's just keep going. It's so fucking stupid.
And they were then offered tailored and optional care for their individual circumstances. The other half went through conventional channels. And at the end of the trial, the results were clear. The Housing First group spent more time in stable housing, less time hospitalized, and results carried over for longer than when homeless people went through the continuum of care path. Within just 6 months, Housing First had virtually eliminated homelessness in the experimental group. It was a massive success. That first study was in New York, and inspired by its promising results, the EU ran its own pilot programs in 5 European countries with the same outcome: secure, long-term housing stability. And now that it's become the official national policy of the Finnish government, we've seen just how much good this can achieve. It is abundantly clear that this approach works. Despite all of this, some of you might still be skeptical. Forget for a second that housing is a universal right we are all entitled to.
Guys, I've decided that because I have enough money to be able to pay for expensive healthcare, that I'm no longer an advocate for Medicare for all. I have decided that now that I have enough money to be able to, like, now that I paid my brother's student loan debt, I am no longer an advocate for eliminating student loan debt. So sorry, I realized just now that all of the bad faith disses and criticisms were actually urging me to urging me to join the right side here. You know what I mean?
That it is baked into the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which the US has signed onto and agreed to provide in front of the entire international community. Forget that this right doesn't include temporary shelters, but only real, stable housing, and that there are metrics around accessibility, affordability, discrimination, and protection from eviction which good Housing First programs conform to perfectly, in addition to affirming the basic idea of being decent to real human people. You might still wonder about costs in the wealthiest country in the world that regularly provides housing subsidies mostly to the wealthiest people in the country through mortgage interest tax deductions costing the American people, I don't know, $70 billion a year, or close to 25 times what is set aside for homelessness programs at the federal level. Imagine all that incredibly important stuff doesn't matter. It's gone. Forget about it. Housing First is still cheaper than not housing people or walking them through an ineffective continuum of care program. Not only are people housed through Housing First covering part of the cost and are more easily employed, but housing people saves money in the long term on comparatively costly emergency hospitalization bills and absurdly expensive policing, which both go down when 1. People's needs are taken care of preventatively, and 2. They aren't exposed to an expensive state apparatus that has criminalized existing without a house. Given all this evidence, you're probably wondering, why aren't we doing this? To be fair, there are some small-scale examples of this in the US. The US Department of Housing and Urban Development does fund certain homelessness programs, some of them with the Housing First methods. However, these programs are only robust in a few cities and states. But no matter the nature of the program, whether it's Housing First, Continuum of Care, or something else, funding is far too low. The HUD's budget and municipal aid funds have steadily declined over time, and as a result, programs scrape together a budget.
It's wild that, like,
First is extremely expensive and requires a tremendous amount of revenue to sustain, like that brought in with top-of-the-hour ad breaks.
God fucking damn it, dude. It is top of the fucking hour, dude. You know what? I'm gonna be solving Islamophobia by doing bravophobia in a little bit. But yeah, it's top of the fucking hour. Yeah, it is. It is top of the fucking hour. Been reading a lot about Texas. What is this, dude? Been reading a lot about Texas today, and I've come to realize people in the US have to pay for childbirth. Is this true? Where is this person from? I'm automatically angry. People that live in Canada and in the UK and in the EU and other OECD nations, like, they automatically are living in a 3 whatever the fuck million dollar mansion by default. Okay? Not even 2.7. We are all homeless, and they all have $2.7 million mansions when it comes to healthcare. You have to pay for birth? Yeah, like a lot, dude. A lot. You have to pay like $300 to touch the baby after the baby's born. Like, just to literally touch the baby. Like, when the father does like skin-to-skin contact, which is like important for a child, that process alone costs like $300. Well, it changes. Every insurance charges something different. What did this guy say? $10 to $40K in the US to give birth. My wife and I just had a third kid, and the total bill was $18K, and that was after a bunch of deductions. Before deductions, it was about $25K. Like, people don't really recognize exactly how fucked up American healthcare is, I think. It's beyond parody, so it's hard to fucking truly comprehend if you're one of these, like, you know, bullshit countries that don't actually exist in the minds of Americans, like, you know, EU nations or the UK or Canada or even Mexico. Like, these aren't real countries, right? So obviously we've never really thought about how, you know, you guys have like socialized medicine there. But yeah, if you are from one of these like made up countries, then it is incomprehensible how fucking insane it is, the healthcare system here. It is so fucked up. It is genocidal, okay? It is probably the cruelest thing that this country does to its own citizens. Anyway,
Wide people sad, Canada.
you're not going to believe this. My dad was an advocate of ivermectin yesterday and against the vaccine. Then my sister just told us 20 minutes ago that she got a part-time job at the CDC. Oh my God. Working for the devil, brother. So anyway, what I was going to say is it's top of the hour. Every hour it's time for a 6-second ad break. Before I forget, or not me, but the chatter reminded me. So congratulations to that chatter. If you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or you can do it for free by using your Twitch Prime here. Twitch Prime is free if you have an Amazon Prime account. You can also use an ad block or a VPN. But Twitch Prime is free. Here's the 1-minute ad break now.
Budget from the general public and several different local and federal funds, rarely ever amounting to what they actually need to provide effective services. But the main problem behind all of this isn't that homelessness programs aren't getting enough funding. That is an issue just a little further down the line. The underlying problem is affordable housing, and at the core of that problem is our capitalist organization of the economy. Under a capitalist economy, housing isn't treated like the right it's considered to be by most nations, including, on paper, the United States. Instead, it's a commodity, something to be traded, speculated on, turned for a profit. That is the main goal of housing in a commodity market. Not putting people in homes, making money. As a result, developers, investors, and the like don't focus their energy on housing the poor, from whom they can only extract so much, but rather on building luxury accommodations for the wealthy, leaving largely empty units across the country.
Talked some homeless dude at a soup kitchen in Rochester, and a lot got sent there by other states with free bus tickets. Why don't people talk about that? I mean, they do. Those are outdated policies. They used to do that. They used to ship homeless people to fucking Hawaii.
Only rarely occupied, if at all, while people in desperate need of housing are refused access and subjected to a manufactured housing scarcity. On top of that, there is a very real incentive for capitalists to only partially resolve homelessness. The threat of losing the roof over your head keeps even the most exploited worker in a job they hate. Increasingly, that threat forces people into even more dire conditions as wages become less and less sufficient to cover housing costs, forcing people to take on several jobs and work untenable hours to avoid the possibility of eviction. It is not in the capitalist interest to remove that powerful, terrifying incentive. And here is where the Finnish success story may go beyond Housing First alone. Not only is Housing First doing a good job of taking people out of homelessness in a reliable way, but a social democratic organizing of the economy is limiting the extent to which people are likely to fall into it in the first place. It's still capitalism, so it still relies on somebody being exploited, in this case people in the global south, but at the very least, social democracy goes part of the way on neutering perverse capitalist incentives on continuing homelessness domestically. One key element of this is unionization. High unionization at 75% of the Finnish workforce, and therefore higher wages and higher job security than in freer markets, mean
In 2016, San Francisco offered me a ticket to anywhere in the lower 48 to leave permanently and never come back because I was homeless. It's insane. Holy shit, dude. Wait, we have a ex-homeless chatter in the chat. I want to let you know that I do own a house, so I'm sure. I don't know if you heard about that or not, but
Hassle.
I'm just gonna let you know you might want to stop supporting me. I was homeless also. It's okay. What? It was justified. No, it's strange that like actually homeless people or people who were homeless in the past are not as upset about it as like Stanford PhD anarchists and PSL members that also have Patreons and mostly just right-wing psychos. So that's really strange.
In that as people exit homelessness, they are unlikely to be replaced or fall back into it themselves. American conservatives love to rail against Housing First, touting its failures to make significant changes in cities like Los Angeles, where homelessness has continued to rise to
Why did you buy a $3 million house instead of buying 50K houses for homeless people? I can't tell if this is a meme or if this is serious. Hold on. Let me see. This guy says the N-word in every sentence. How is he not banned off the platform? What? I live in the Balkans. Oh no, he's a Balkan poster, so he might be serious. Bro, we're not in the Balkans, dog. We don't have 50K houses here. Like where there's literally not a single place. There's not a single place in America where you can buy a house for $50,000. Also, not only that, but also I did not buy the house cash up front. I don't know why people think that I bought this house cash up front. I don't have that much money. And people who are saying, oh, he's anti-Semitic. Dude, he's a Balkan poster. Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
funding the big banks single-handedly. Yeah. Okay. Should clap. I did hear.
despite Housing First programs taking root. What they conveniently forget to mention is that the continuum of care programs they prefer still deliver worse results. And the core issue of the skyrocketing housing prices in the free market is why people are even pushed out into homelessness in the first place. The thing is, it doesn't have to be this way. There are solutions to reduce the scale of this issue. Earlier this year, the Gravel Institute released a great video on one of these solutions, the decommodification of housing. I'll put a link to that video and all of the sources for this one in the description. At the end of the day,
We watched this already.
the conclusion that you should take away from the Finnish case isn't just that this one type of program works really well at taking people out of an
Hey, just curious, Andy here. What keeps the workforce populated if housing is free, since most of the reason to work is to pay rent? Why still work? Literally just ignorant here. I mean, I don't work to just fucking pay for rent. I don't have to work this much to pay for rent. Just curious, Andy. Why do researchers fucking do research? Not everything is to literally pay for fucking rent, dude. That's such a sad report. That's such a fucking sad state of affairs that you think that, like, people exclusively work to pay for fucking rent. Like, the saddest part about that is that you acknowledge the reality that the fucking threat of the violence that comes from poverty, like the systemic violence of the structural violence of poverty, is literally what motivates you to go take a fucking shit job that you don't want to do. And you recognize that reality, and then you're like, but I'm gonna stunt my imagination for no reason and say that this is the only way that I will go and do this fucking job.
Hey, yo.
What, he did the meme? Why are they farming with no profit incentive? It's true.
22 months, Saj. I missed those 2 months.
I don't understand. Because they're serfs? No, motherfucker. These are indigenous people. What are you talking about? They're not serfs, dude. Oh my god.
11 months and I
Oh my
haven't
god.
overthrown the
Oh
government.
my god. Western Andes can't fucking escape, like... Western Andes have so much fucking brain rot that they literally can't see, like, anything beyond some inherently exploitative structure. What about the people that would choose not to work and get a free house? Okay, what about them? Fine. Dude, the people that you point to are so fucking insanely rare and don't exist, okay? This notion that, like, oh, dude, I would never work if I had a fucking house, like, that's not true. You would want to find a way to make yourself busy, okay? And there's still things that you're going to want to purchase regardless. Literally wrong? Okay. I mean, obviously, this is not the best place to have this conversation because, you know, there's a bunch of neets in here that, like, literally don't want to fucking work. So that's one thing, but like, what about retired people? Should they just die? What about kids? Like, I don't understand this argument. Like, what should we do with the people that don't work? Just fucking murder them, dude? Why don't we melt those people for biomatter? I don't understand. They're no longer productive members of society.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you're a disabled person who no longer can work, if you're old, if you're basically not a cog in the machine and no longer productive in the capitalist mode of production sense, then you're biomass. You know, you're just a drain on American resources into the grinder with you.
Pog.
Of course, in that same mentality, though, people that already had upfront capital in the form of intergenerational wealth, that were able to make these wise investment decisions, those people, on the other hand, are, of course, job creators and opportunity providers, and therefore they are working very hard. For example, I have shelter now. I have permanent shelter. Bought a house. Those of you who don't know, which is why I'm done streaming now. Actually, as you noticed, I stopped streaming altogether when I purchased the house. This is how it works.
Keep doing you, brother man.
Yeah, I am a dirty little house owner. Few people actually inherit lots of money. Most make it themselves. Okay, that argument is fucking silly. Because even though my father fucking lost all of his vast fortunes, and his father before him lost all of his vast fortunes by the time that he became an adult and by the time that I became an adult, that does not change the reality that I had a significantly better upbringing and came from an originally affluent background. So this notion that, like, oh, wealthy people that come from wealthy families don't directly inherit the money is a right-wing talking point to totally obfuscate from the realities of what being from a fucking wealthy family does to you as far as like an upper hand or an advantage that you get. It's so silly. Half the time, yeah, you're not inheriting like $1 million fucking dollars or $2 million from your family, but in a lot of instances, they pay for shit. They pay for your car. They pay for your fucking housing if you want it, if you need it. They pay for things that offer you material freedoms that allow you to be able to take creative leaps that other people that are subjugated to lifelong crippling poverty will never be able to experience. This is, of course, a silly conversation to have on fucking twitch.tv because there are, like I said before, a lot of neets here. Okay? But it's not an accident that most of the fucking people that are in media, in prominent positions in media, look like me, okay? Or come from even much wealthier backgrounds because they had the freedom to be able to make these choices. They had the freedom to be able to fail, okay? When you're poor, you don't have that freedom. I advocate so that people do have that freedom, okay? That's the world that I want to live in, where everyone can unlock their maximum fucking potential. Even from a neoliberal capitalist point of view, I think that that's a wise investment, to invest in every single person so that they are not subjugated, okay? So they're not like constantly fucking chained down by the budget surplus that is built into their existence, okay? If you think I'm a fucking hypocrite or whatever because of that, even though I acknowledge my fucking fortunate beginnings and currently the wealthy state, I don't know what to tell you. Like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut up, you fucking capitalist bootlicking poor bitch, okay? Work harder. Maybe one day you will have the deed to the factory. But before then, I want to see some fucking receipts. If you're going to advocate for capitalism, I want to see the receipts to the factory. If you don't have a receipt to the factory, then why the fuck are you in here telling me, literally a more successful person than you, how to fucking operate within a capitalist system? Like, what are you defending? What rich kids have it better? What do you mean? Oh, you're saying you're surprised by that? I think the chatter is confusing free housing with free housing, free iPhone, and free Fortnite skins.
Been a wild ride, Daddy. Sorry.
Why do you apologize for subscribing? I'm just saying, while I do important work, I would quit and just travel if I knew there would be a roof over my head. You love streaming. I just know the things I... Wait, how the fuck would you travel then? Is travel free? How would you pay for travel? Is there free travel for all?
Hasan, we did it. Half a year down, A lifetime to go.
Bro, you're
Love
literally
you, bro,
telling,
Hasan.
dude, life is not infinite, dude. We have a finite amount of time on this fucking planet, as the planet is like literally getting worse every single day. Shouts out to the fucking conservatives all around the world. And you're like, yeah, I'm doing my job because I need shelter, and here you are advocating for free shelter, and I would literally not do the job that I do right now and do something else and enjoy myself more. If I had the opportunity. And then you look down at that and act like that's not good. Like, that seems pretty tight, dude. Do you think people with socialist views living in the U.S. should maximize their potential within a capitalist system and use their power or wealth to gain change things top to bottom? Or should they stick to their values and try to succeed best within that framework? I think I go back and forth on this. No, I don't think... I think money does have a tendency to change you. And a fear that you have from, losing what you have, or a security that you might lose, certainly can change people's opinions. I don't think rich people are just going to be like, yeah, I'm totally fucking, I got to this point by, exploiting as many people as possible. And now that I'm at that point, I'm going to fucking advocate to change that system.
Capitalists have bamia pee-pee.
All right, let's finish this video.
Incredibly difficult situation for the benefit of everyone. It does do that, but that's not the point. The Finnish example gives us a glimpse of how we can treat housing differently. Instead of being a game for the wealthy to gamble their own fortunes and the livelihoods of millions of Americans, Housing First shows us what housing really is: a necessity, a right. It's something that must come before almost everything else, something which we must guarantee, or fail to recognize the humanity of millions of people. If you're interested in what the future of housing might look like, I highly recommend you check out Home of the Future on CuriosityStream. It's a fascinating look at cutting-edge production methods and radically different approaches to housing than those we see today. CuriosityStream is an established streaming platform with a solid track record of caring about great educational content and the financial security of those who produce it.
If you want people to work for unfavorable jobs, you pay them more. I agree. That's the other thing. Like, you either offer equity or you pay them more. You pay them more for the fucking work that that they're doing, because you don't want to fucking do it. Very urgent, cute video. Population boom with the biggest rodents on Earth take over a suburb in Buenos Aires. Wait, what? Oh my God, they're capybaras. Oh, fuck me. When you said rodents, I thought like rats, but goddamn, capybaras are so fucking cute. Thank God, last time I tuned in, it was fucking blackface everywhere. Don't worry, chatter. Today we're gonna move on from blackface to brownface, Pakistani face, Muslim face, whatever you want to call it. Because today we're gonna be tackling bravophobia. I see my young 20-year-old friends go into shit jobs where the owners curp them away over time with no extra pay, and they just think it's normal and don't understand what I'm complaining about. Yeah, I mean, it is... the system is designed in a way in which, like, you only see the negative repercussions of not working, and the negative incentivization structure is enforced. And you rarely ever see, like, what positive incentivization would look like when you work for a job that you truly love or have, like, a genuine investment in.